Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sedona International Film Festival. I'm your host, Carol Kahn. This is our 32nd annual festival, and each year it just gets better and better. We are coming to you live from Yavapai College. We'd like to thank our title sponsor, Mercedes-Benz of Northern Arizona, and we are also known as the Filmmakers Film Festival. So each year we have hundreds of filmmakers come in from all around the world, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Maurizio. And originally Maurizio is from Italy, so we have this common bond.
Yes.
And tell me your film, what's the title of your film?
Well, the title of the film is Little Singer.
Yes.
It's a story about the indigenous culture of the Dene here in Winslow, around Winslow, a couple of hours from here, from Sedona. And yeah, it's a feature film which is part of a collection, of a series of 12 films on the impact of colonization on indigenous culture worldwide.
How long did it take you to do these films?
The whole project lasted about 2 years. We went all around the world to 13 different communities for a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks in each community, with the idea of making one movie. But then when we came back, we look at the footage and we say, wait, this footage of this community, actually, let's put it together and make a short story. And it became a feature, because we realized that we are so blessed and guided that we have enough material to make a feature film everywhere we went.
Wow, I have so many questions to ask
Go
you,
for it.
but I want
Go for it.
let's go take a look at the clip, and
Yes.
then when we're done with that, we'll have our conversation.
Yes.
Reaching out to you, reaching out to my ancestors. And I ask that you be the ones to speak here. Show us the truth. Show us what real love is. Because we're headed your way. Walking that beauty way, pathway. Pataquias for all my relations.
From the beginning, here in the Navajo land, was the first thing. And it is the seedling of who we are. Relationship and kinship, love, belonging.
We always talk about the beautiness of being Dene, but I think we never talk about the dark past of what really, who we are.
The Scorched Earth campaign, they would murder women and children and elders with the backs of their guns. That was to save bullets as they forcibly removed our people from their homelands.
We shifted from just, outright genocide to kill the Indian, save the man.
I went to Luke boarding school. When we walked in, I was clinging on to my mom's skirt, and I said, you guys aren't gonna leave me here,
We had church services so we can forget our traditional ceremonies, our traditional culture.
The teachings that we receive from the Holy Ones are just a way to communicate with the earth.
The rhythm of those songs that I grew up with, they still echo around here. You can hear it, in the wind.
Wow, I felt this film, I really did. And the beauty way that she talked about is a beautiful saying. I think I've used it in some articles that I've written. It's just a beautiful saying. I felt this whole entire piece. Being here in Sedona, you don't really see it a whole lot, but you feel it.
Yes.
And you feel the history that's here, the indigenous people, and try to protect that. Like there's so many things here in Sedona that are sites, like native sites that should be protected, and heritage sites, and they are protected. But one of the questions I have, because you kind of went full circle in this series, this segment, of the indigenous people and how it first started out, right, and their culture and music and the language and all the stuff that they were a part of, and then how it evolved where, you know, then they had to learn English and, you know, become Christians, and everything, like everything that they knew had to be changed, and it was completely unfamiliar to them. So talk to me a little bit about what you found out. You seem very spiritual to me, and have learned a lot in your, you know, in producing and writing this. So tell me what you feel and what you've learned.
Yeah, one of the first, let's say, move of a colonizer is to take away the language, take away the culture, take away the religion, and consider the people you are colonized as inferior, barbaric, evil, ignorant animals. We heard that all over the world, and we still hear it today in some part of the world, that some community consider their neighbor animals and abuse them, right? And to me, what became strikingly is the fact, the difference between our culture and the indigenous culture is the respect for mother.
Yes.
When you were saying here in Sedona, all this sacred site, for an indigenous person, there is no sacred site. Everything is sacred. Every plant, every bird, everything is sacred. This morning we had a conversation with Lila June, actually the daughter of Pat McCabe that you see in the movie on our website, which is Science and Non-Duality, and she said something, the day you will be able to look at the eel in the eyes and see you are a relative, then we have built the world we want to live in. Because what you do by taking away the language, the culture, the religion, the tradition, and everything, you destroy the family. You destroy the community, you destroy the family. And what we see, we all became individual in a nucleus family. We don't even know our neighbors anymore. We just say, hi, thank you, nice of you to see you. But we don't really know much of them. And that's an easy way, divide and conquer, right? The Romans started it. And that way, it's easier to take control of people or of culture if you divide them. And this is the whole basic of colonization, which happened in Europe 10,000 years ago when they started.
Yes.
And then the European came all around the world and repeated the...
Yes. Well, I think you made a really good point because, you know, also in the film they were talking about, you know, healing like in nature. Like that's what this is all about, right? And to understand what you can heal in nature by the flowers and the plants and how that's done. And I think one of the subjects in the film, her children were studying to be naturopaths. And so really interesting to see that and coming back to, you know, their true traditions, which I feel is like so important. I think as people, we forget what is sacred.
Yes.
We forget that Mother Earth is sacred. We forget water is sacred. We forget the land is sacred.
Yes.
And so by bringing this to attention, you know, to the public, you know, hopefully people start recognizing that this is what we need to be doing.
Yes, to me, I go one step extra. We went to the Maori culture in New Zealand, and they were reciting us 14 generations before them. All the name of 14 generations, it's a lot of people. And what they did and what their name was, 14 generations. And they were laughing at me. I said, some Western people, they don't even know the name of their grandparents.
Right.
And I froze. Because, oh shit, and then they went further and say, our ancestors are not our grandparents. Our ancestor is the land. We are made of water. 90% of us is water and minerals. Likely the same water that is in me now has been in you, maybe in one of your ancestors 2,000 years ago, most likely.
Yes.
So there is an interconnectedness in the universe, in the earth. And if we lose that, we lose the respect from the earth because we feel separated. We humans are superior. I'm superior to the dog. What is a dog? You know, and then we go from the dog to, oh, those people, look at them. They have a funny nose, they are ignorant, you know, and we continue this separation. If we can eliminate this and everything becomes sacred, all of a sudden, our relationship is different, right?
Yes. That's what you hope for. You know, interesting that you said about water in our bodies. I watched this video a while ago, but it was a Lakota Indian woman who basically said the water that comes from the earth is evaporated into the atmosphere and comes back down again. So it just keeps circling because we live in like almost a biosphere. And she says it's the same water today as it was at the
Exactly.
beginning of time. And you know, again, how water is alive and it's sacred. And
Yeah.
so when I saw that, it made me realize, right,
Yes.
what it's all about.
And it gives us life, it gives us nurture. I mean,
You can't live without water.
You can't live without water, right? And it's the same water. And what we do, we put poison in the water when we do mining or with our practice with the chemicals we use. We poison ourselves, and then we are surprised that there is a high rate of health problems, and you know, we are surprised. Well, thank you. You poison the water, then you expect the water you drink doesn't hurt you. I mean, it's
Right.
just, it's totally backward.
I agree. Tell me, how did you become inspired by this whole subject? Because doing 12 12-part series on this is really going in
It's
depth
crazy.
about the subject. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. First of all, I wanna bow to my wife, my partner, which is not here today, Zaya. She is a power force. She's the driving force by far. She is like a force of nature. And us together, 101 does not do 2, it does 11. So I just want to sincerely
awesome.
bow to her
Okay.
and make that very important thing. And we have an amazing team of people. So when I met Zaya 18 years ago, we started an organization called Science and Non-Duality. But we both were filmmakers. And it's a long story. Our first date, we went to India to make a movie. So, and if you survive making a movie in India as a first date, there is something good in
That's
the
a big
relationship.
first date.
Yeah. After 2 weeks, we were together, we went. Anyway, so Science and Duality lasted for 15 years, thousands of people from all over the world putting together mystics and scientists talking the big question of life. SAND is the name of the organization. At one point, Gabor Mate, the trauma therapist from Vancouver, came to our conference to talk, and he talked about trauma. And me and my wife realized, oh my God, aren't we spiritual bypassing? Trying to be spiritual, I want to be enlightened. Shut up, I want to be enlightened, spiritual, and not seeing the trauma in our body and the impact that has. And became a total revelation, and we started to get into that world, and we say, why don't we make a movie about him? We started making a movie with no ambition, and the movie with COVID appeared, so we stopped the conference and we decided, well, let's finish the movie and take it out. We expected 20,000 therapists to watch the movie, and instead, in the first week, 5 million people saw the movie.
Wow.
Self-distributed, because nobody wanted. We went to Netflix, we went to everybody. Everybody said, I like it personally. I watch it with my mother, but it's not for us. Okay, you don't want it, so we said, we used to do conference. Let's do an online conference. And we did the movie. Again, we expect 20,000 people, 5 million. Another thing, we offer our movies by donation, including zero. So if you cannot afford it, hey, we are not here to stop you from making the world a better place. Our job is to do projects that can enhance humanity. So, and most people write zero. But at the end of the day, the people who write zero, if they like the movie, they invite 100 people on social media. So we had so many people that at the end of the day, we were able to have the money to make this movie, because at the end of the Wisdom of Trauma, Gabor Mate told us, you should do a movie about intergenerational trauma and go to indigenous culture. So with the money from the Wisdom of Trauma, we start going around the world to make movies about indigenous culture and the intergenerational trauma coming from colonization, which then evolved into this series.
Wow. That's wonderful that you brought it to everybody's attention and to continue doing that.
Yeah.
And to have 5 million people,
It's insane.
yes.
I mean, it was a revolution in the distribution of documentary, if you wish, because self-distribution has always been, iffy.
Right.
So we have nobody behind. We are a non-profit, and on top of it, we are a 501c3, And 50% of the profit of the movie, once we cover the cost, will go back to the indigenous organization that we met in our movie. So that's another thing. So
Very nice.
so
Very
people
nice.
can please donate. And if not, it doesn't matter. Zero is good.
So where in Sedona can people see your film? Has it already played?
He has played once, but tomorrow night he's playing, Friday the 27th at 7 p.m. at Arkins 2.
Yes.
And this movie is the world premiere actually.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and we will open this movie in May 2nd on our website. And until now, you can see 4 of the other movie of the series on our website, theeternalsong.org.
The Eternal Song.
.org.
.org. Okay, awesome. So don't forget to watch that. If you don't have your tickets, please make sure you get your tickets for tomorrow evening at 7
Yes.
p.m. at Harkins Theater.
And we'll do a Q&A afterwards, so we have a
Awesome.
chance to chat.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll have lots of questions. Wonderful film. Thank you so much, Mauricio, for
Thank you,
bringing
Carol.
it to us, and it was such a pleasure meeting you.
Likewise.
And definitely a very spiritual man, and I'm sure your wife is just as
Oh.
beautiful. And she's watching, so we shout out to Zia.
Thank
And
you so
don't,
much.
you're so welcome. Thank you for being here with us. And don't forget, we're on YouTube Live. Follow us on, we're doing YouTube Live, and you can see all our filmmaker interviews on YouTube, as well as follow us on social media. It's Sedona Film Fest. And we will be back with more filmmaker interviews. Just keep following us throughout the day with our celebrities and red carpets. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yes. The director